Hello, everybody. Welcome to the class. My name is Valeria, and I am eager to have you here and to be able to share this experience with you while we learn how to develop a culturally relevant environment in our classrooms. But before we get started, let's start with a group activity. I want you to think about this question. What do I need to consider when planning a dinner party? What do I need to consider when planning a dinner party? I know this has nothing to do about classrooms, but let's get started with this question. I'm going to divide you into groups of three. There's 12 of us, so there should be four groups. I'm going to send you each group into a classroom. I'll have you discuss about different things to consider, like guests, food, seating arrangement, etc., etc. And I'll give you some time to think about it in your groups together, and then we'll come back and talk about the kind of questions that you've come up about what you need to consider when planning for a dinner party. Okay? Send you off to your groups. All right, welcome back. Okay, now I'd like to hear some of the questions that you came up with in your groups. Any volunteers? Very good. Who am I inviting? Who are my guests? How many guests? Very good. That's an excellent question. How many guests can we invite and why? That's really good. What's the reason for this party, right? Okay. What's the dress code? What am I supposed to wear to this party? What am I serving? What kind of food? Are there any food allergies or restrictions? Things very important to consider when planning a dinner party. You don't want anybody having a bad allergy reaction. How are people going to be seated? Very good. Okay. Now that we've thought about these questions, I want you to take a moment and think, should we plan our lessons in the classroom the same way that we do our dinner parties? Who would be our guests in the classroom? What would the food represent? What would the seating arrangement look like for our classroom? Is there a better way to arrange some guests so that the flow of the party is better? Okay. And so these are some questions that I just want to ask individually. So any input is welcome. Okay. Very good. Excellent. All right. And now let me ask you something. Why would it be important to take into consideration our guests or students in a classroom? How is selecting very carefully and planning our food or planning our content, our lesson plan, relevant for our guests or students? Why is that important? I want you to tell me. Why do you think that would be very important for our classroom? Okay. All right. Very good. So now that we're moving on, I want to share some images with you. Okay, these are images of classrooms, of different classrooms. And let me pull them up. What I want us to do is I want us to take a look at these classrooms, okay? Let's focus at one photo at a time. Talk about some positive points that we see. Good seating arrangement, good classroom size, great decoration. And let's think about some points that could be improved, okay? What are some culturally relevant aspects of each classroom? What does this mean? How does a diversity or non-diversity in this setting help or hurt the student? Let's look at this classroom image. Let's take a look at this one. Different than the last one, different ages too. Okay. What about this one? This one looks more like a university lecture room, okay? Everybody has different materials too. That's something important to notice, okay? Let's look at this. Younger age, lots of classroom decoration, okay? Very appropriate for students who love colors, like to have lots of information, and maybe can actually be very beneficial to them. Let's take a look at the next picture. Okay, what do we see here? Different seating arrangement again. Less information on the walls. We see a lot more white around the classroom. Okay, traditional tables. Okay, next picture. All right, more color on the walls. Very good. We're starting to notice, and this one kind of seems like there was no set arrangement, or maybe we can't see enough into the classroom, but we can start deducing in this last classroom. A little bit more straightforward, probably familiar to what we experienced in high school, right? The straight lines going down. How can this classroom setting benefit this particular classroom? And why is this classroom seating arrangement beneficial for this classroom? How can different details, decoration, um, the class size, the diversity in a classroom, how can all those differences help us create a richer classroom that benefits the student? Okay, so now I want us to watch a video. It's a short 4-minute video called Creating a Culturally Responsive Classroom. This video is briefly going to explain the importance of identifying diversity in the classroom while suggesting different strategies in order to create a culturally responsive classroom. Okay, let me share that with you right now. Let me share. And here we go. I'll make the screen bigger and I'll play. I'll add the subtitles too, just in case. So I will be able to share this link with you after the classroom if you'd like to watch it again. But first, let's talk about some of the learning strategies that we saw in this video, okay? These are meant to accommodate diversity in our classrooms. So let's talk about, let me share my whiteboard and we'll jot down some of the strategies that we saw in the video, okay? So let's title it Creating a Culturally Relevant Classroom. Okay, great. And let's talk about some of the strategies that we saw in the video and some of the strategies that we didn't see in the video, but can be still very helpful in empowering our students in the classroom. Oh, wrong spelling, strategies. Okay, very good. So what are some of the strategies that we saw in this video? Okay, honoring individualism, right? And what does that mean, right? Pushing each student through exactly empowering their abilities, their capabilities, setting high expectations. That's another great one. Setting high expectations for our students. Very good. And how can this help our students in the classroom if we set high expectations? Right. We believe in them, they believe in them. And they believe in them, they exceed. Right. That's an excellent point. That's an excellent point. High focus less on higher.